So I want to hear first, like, why write it? What was the journey like to get this book out that is now all over the country?
Okay, cool question, because I'll do the origin story of it, and then I'll get to why now.
Yeah.
So I was 15, 16 years old, and I just got my driver's license. And I'd saved up a couple summers, to buy a Mazda B2200 truck. Like, it was the best thing I could afford, right? But being honest, it was a beater. And I was driving, and there was a car that was going to pass me in the same direction, going a little bit faster than me. I'm 16 years old, and I remember that they were passing me, and I straightened up, I grabbed the steering wheel, I put on the coolest look I possibly could, and I thought, when they look over here in this car, they're going to see something cool. And they passed by me, and they didn't even look. They did not care what was happening inside my car. And so I had this lightning bolt moment, which is like, what am I doing? Why am I acting and propping up and changing the way that I was comfortable in the way I was driving? Why did I change all that to look good to a person who didn't even know me? 16 years old, I was embarrassed by it. I knew that was weird. I knew that was not grounded. It's not authentic. It was the action of none of the things I wanted to be. And I was so embarrassed by it, I never talked about it. I didn't bring it up, and I just knew it was this weird thing that I was playing this second game. And that second game was to look good rather than just to be me. And I didn't talk about it with folks, and I eventually found my path through sports psychology. And eventually I was fortunate to work with extraordinary performers, best in the world across multiple disciplines. And come to find out, they have something similar too. So I kept this thing private for a long time, and then sitting with them in an intimate setting, having conversations about what it takes for them to be their best. And they would say things like, yeah, I'm just kind of working out some fears. Like, what do you mean? Fear of getting hurt? No, it's not that. Well, what's the fear? Letting people down. What do you mean? Well, no, it's not letting people, it's letting myself down. So quickly they want to cover it up to be the strong person. But this idea of letting people down, of the failure of blowing it publicly, the failure of letting dad down, mom down, agents down. So it was this thing that folks were carrying with them, is not looking shitty in the eyes of other people. So fast forward, I was like, oh, I'm not alone. I've been worrying about how people saw me for too long. They're struggling with it. I wrote an article 24 months ago, no, more like 36 months ago at Harvard Business Review. And they called back 24 months later and they said, who are you? Right? And they said, listen, you are the #1 downloaded article 24 months in a row. Let's get a book done.
Wow.
And I said, great. So I just leaned in with Kevin Lake is my writer here, and we just leaned into the science. We leaned into some really honest stories about my understanding of what it takes to be free from worrying about what other people think of you.
FOPO, right?
Fear of people's opinions, yeah.